In celebration of International Women's Month, welcome to Crossing Cultures, the live edition.
I started to do a podcast last year, and I just really want to celebrate the people that I know in Qatar that have made this brave journey of leaving their family and friends to explore this opportunity of working in the Middle East. But I also wanted to use it as a tool for those that are thinking about coming out to Qatar and use it as a resource for them to hear other people's testimonies and their journeys, and just to keep it really real about some of the experiences that we have living and working in Qatar. So welcome to Crossing Cultures Live, and thank you so much for coming here today. Appreciate you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you for bringing us all together and creating a space for
Thank you.
us.
Appreciate
It's
it.
really, really important to share, but also to receive.
Yes.
And that's down to you.
Thank you.
Second time of many. So who is Melissa Smith? That's me. Proud daughter, eldest sister, leader, educator, avid traveller, property developer, investor. I'm someone who loves life, enjoys life. I'm someone who believes education genuinely can excel and make all your dreams come true. I'm a happy, confident person who likes to share what I do with other people around me, especially beautiful women from around the world.
And how long have you been in Qatar for?
So next year will be 10 years.
10 years. That's a long time.
I mean...
Well done. Your common sense came in quicker than mine.
Nothing happens before it's time.
Why do you not have no money end of the month? And it just took her like years to then think, you know what, let me go and explore what else is out there in education and actually see some rewards at the end of the month and enjoy life a little bit more. So well done for taking that leap of faith. Okay, so what inspired you to take the role that you're doing now? Because you're doing you're lead for EAO, aren't you? So what inspired you to go into that area in education?
So I have been teaching. So I started off my teaching professional career in North London. I started off as a primary teacher, and then I moved to another primary school in North London, where I then became head of phase for Key Stage 1. And the story was that I was covering an assistant head post, maternity cover. And then when the post came up, because that colleague ended up leaving, extending her family, I applied for the job and didn't get it. And I was like, how can I not get a job that I'm doing this job for free? Like, what happened to loyalty, commitment? Clearly not enough. So I have a range of experience from Key Stage 1, Key Stage 2, and leadership, and then I just thought, this is not working. And the person who everything happens for a reason, and don't ever look at rejection as though it's a bad thing. When I didn't get that post, they gave it to a young man fresh out of university. And so schools, the way it works, leadership posts in the UK, he was appointed in May. And by the November, he had resigned. He was like, I don't want to do this, it's too hard. And he went to work, honestly, in a bar in Thailand. And I was like, you've given up a leadership position to work in a bar in Thailand. Like, you're in your 20s, you should be striving, you should be. And I was like, actually, he's enjoying his life. And that's made me think, wow, there is life outside of Edmonton. There is life beyond North London and the A406. And I applied, and I originally thought I wanted to go to Dubai, as a lot of people do. And I applied to Dubai. So one of my roles as a part of the assistant head when I was acting assistant head, was recruiting staff. And I had met quite a good working professional relationship with one of the recruitment companies. And I said to him, just out of curiosity, do you have an international department? And he was like, what, do you want to bring a teacher from Australia to do like weekly supply? And I said, no, like I'm thinking there is life outside of London. Can I do that? And I said, he said, where do you want to go? I said, do you know, I really want to go to Dubai. And I could hear the exhale, and he was like, everybody thinks they want to be in Dubai. And he was like, what about Qatar? And I was like, where?
Right.
And he was like, look on the map, like looks to Saudi. I was like, I'm not going to Saudi, forget that. And he was like, no, look at Saudi. And I looked and I was like, yeah, I can see Saudi. He was like, yeah, now zoom. This was on zoom. And I zoomed in and I looked at Qatar and I was like, I've never heard of this place. Like, is it even a real country? And he was like, yeah. And then when I started speaking to people, that was before the World Cup. This was end of 2015, 2016. People started knowing about the World Cup. So I was like, look, I've got leadership experience, Key Stage 1, Key Stage 2. an extension. Let me get a specialism. And when I came here, I realised there really, really was a need for it. So 10 years plus, classroom experience, phase leader, assistant head. Came back. I took a main scale position here, and there's nothing wrong with that because I can teach. I'm a teacher, first of all. To move into EAL and that specialism, I really enjoyed it. And there is a need here because we are international and people are coming from all over the world. And what I've come to realise is there isn't specialised provision for students who are learning in another language. And I know there are people who look down on it and think, oh, it's just EAL, you're just head of EAL. But it makes such an impactful difference to the people and the students and their families for whom receive the service.
Yeah.
So that's what led me into EAL. And then I'm a qualified Senko as well. So that, coupled with my experience, led me nicely into EAL.
Okay. And in terms of like leadership qualities, what do you think is essential for like in terms of like how leadership is different here to how it is in the UK?
Leadership qualities internationally, I would say you need to have integrity.
Why do you say that? Like, why do you say integrity?
I think that's an important skill to have as a leader.
Yeah, definitely.
And organisation and vision and compassion, and they're all important.
Yeah.
But I think you need to remember why you're getting into leadership. If it's just for the title, or to say that I'm the first, or I'm the first deaf woman, I'm the first black woman, I'm the first woman under 30, is that the right reason? And I think we've all, whatever field you're from, because I know we're not all educators, if you're the first...
Most.
Not everybody, some people are here from different fields, but if you've ever worked under somebody who's in it for the wrong reason, you can feel it. So skills, I'd say adaptability, I would say manage your expectations.
Yeah.
As a leader, I think it's really important to have that vision. It's good to have people skills. I think sometimes...
I think integrity is really important. The reason why I kind of echoed what you're saying is because obviously in the UK, we have a union, we have HR. Over here, it's not like that. So we know that if there's something wrong, we've got a union, a support group that we can go to, where here you don't have that. So relying on integrity, for me, is key because it makes you feel safe, you know? So I definitely would say, like, you're right with integrity, 100%. You are definitely right.
There are only 7, today is our Independence Day actually, St. Lucia's Independence, by the way. The town where I'm from, there are only 7,000 people. And then I worked with incredible teachers. I'm not saying that because one of them is, and Kisha is here. I worked with incredible teachers. And my leaders, they're younger than me. They are incredible. And I began to let my guard down from November. And then it's been smooth sailing since then. Out and about, doing my thing, but it was really hard. So I do not share the experience that most of you did.
Career, I went quite early and went into leadership. I worked in a school in Brixton. It's an art school, Evelyn Grace Academy. I worked there the third year. In the first year they started, I worked there. And one of my students from where I worked in Brixton is actually now working in Qatar. So Siham, thank you. So welcome, Denise. Welcome. Author and deputy head. Amazing. So who is Denise?
I am a sister, a big sister. I was a teacher. I still teach, obviously. Deputy head. I love to travel, for those of you that know. Always traveling. And I'm a children's author. And I've been in Qatar now for 7 years. And it has been a journey. It's been an experience. Yeah. So that's a little bit about me. My journey actually began, I always wanted to be a teacher. I always wanted to teach abroad. My mum didn't really share that journey. And she wanted me to do law. That was her passion. And I would say I was one of those children that would have been, your G&T type of child. So I was just like, all right, well, I can do it, I didn't think I couldn't, so to speak. So I did it, and I did my law degree, and I got a 2-1, and I started shadowing a barrister. I was on my trajectory to becoming a barrister. And I remember just to talk about integrity, at that moment, I just said, I love my mum, and I love this for her, but I don't love this for me. And I made that decision to do what I wanted to do. And I said, Mum, it was fun. Yeah, I'll use my degrees. I'm sure I will. And when I actually started off as a teaching assistant, I fell in love. At the time, I look back now, I was making £900 a month.
We've been there, right?
And I look back now, obviously I was living at home, but I look back and I just think, this is what I chose. This is what I chose, but I loved it. I absolutely loved it. And my mum, she's just like, you've got a law degree, like, you could use it. But I loved it, and I wanted to be a teacher, and I wanted to teach abroad. And at first, I started off as a teacher in the UK. Absolutely loved it. I love their faces when they lit up because they learned something new. They finally got it. That moment when it clicked. I love the fact that the parents valued that there was a woman of color teaching their children of color that understood things, that understood them.
For you is, as vice principal, what has been your biggest leadership challenges and triumphs so far?
So I would say, for me, it's about making sure that I've remained authentic to who I am. Like, that has been something that I've strived for and made sure that I've done. And I would say that over the journey, I've had to kind of question how real I have been in some of